All right, welcome to another deep dive. You ready to get a little introspective today?
Always up for some introspection.
Good, good. Well, today we're diving into a blog post. It's all about journaling.
Okay, yeah.
It's from a site called Listallion. They're all about journaling, personal development, that kind of stuff.
Right.
The article we're looking at is called 50 Weekly Reflection Journal Prompts. It's from December 26th, 2024.
Oh, recent.
Yeah, written by Clara Penrose. And this isn't just about, mindless journaling. This is about using these prompts as tools for like real self-discovery.
I like that. Sort of a purpose, a direction.
Exactly. Ready to uncover some hidden truths about your week.
Let's do it.
Okay, so what's interesting about this piece?
Well, it's interesting because it goes beyond, just those generic kind of surface level prompts like what went well or what are you grateful for kind of thing.
Right.
These 50 prompts, they're categorized into 5 themes.
5 themes.
5 themes, yeah. So it's almost like a more structured approach to reflection. It gives you like a more holistic view. It's touching on everything from celebrating wins to planning for the future.
Wow, it's like a personal development framework disguised as journaling prompts.
Exactly.
Okay, so theme number 1, celebrating wins and progress. And we all know how important it is to celebrate the big milestones.
Oh, for sure.
Right. But what about those smaller wins that we often overlook?
Yes.
This article highlights some prompts to help you celebrate those small wins. Things like, what small victory are you most proud of this week? Or how did you push yourself outside your comfort zone?
Love those.
Right. What do you think about celebrating those seemingly insignificant wins?
Well, they're actually crucial. They're way more important than we think. Because if you think about it, those small targets, when you hit them consistently, it builds momentum, right?
Mm-hmm.
It reinforces those positive behaviors, and it creates a cycle of success.
So it's almost like training your brain to recognize and celebrate those wins.
Absolutely. And there's even research that suggests that focusing on those small wins can actually, rewire our brains.
Really?
Yeah, to be more optimistic and resilient.
So it's not just about feeling good. It's like rewiring our thinking for long-term benefit.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
There's one prompt in this category that really stood out to me. It asks, what are 3 seemingly insignificant accomplishments from this week that you are proud of?
Oh, I like that.
It's so easy to just brush those aside, but maybe they hold more significance than we realize.
Right, because think about it. Maybe you finally stuck to your morning routine all week, you know? Or maybe you had a really difficult conversation that you'd been putting off.
Oh, yeah.
Those might seem small, but they represent commitment and growth.
Okay, yeah.
And those are key ingredients for any sort of personal development journey.
So it's not just about the accomplishment itself, it's about what it represents.
Exactly. It's about those small steps towards becoming the best version of ourselves, recognizing those.
I've been trying to drink more water lately.
Okay.
Which, sounds kind of trivial. But using this prompt, I realized that, sticking to that goal all week actually reflects discipline, self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that I really value. It's not just about the water.
No. It's the bigger picture.
It's the bigger picture. Exactly.
Precisely. That's what these prompts help us kind of uncover. So now we're shifting gears a little bit onto theme 2.
Okay.
Overcoming challenges. Now, this is where the article doesn't shy away from, the tough stuff. It encourages us to actually face those inevitable bumps in the road with prompts like, what challenge are you grateful for now and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Why would we be grateful for challenges, especially in the moment? Isn't that like trying to find the silver lining in a thunderstorm?
Yeah, it can feel that way initially, right? But the prompts here, they're really designed to shift our perspective on things. Because challenges, even failures, they're packed with information. Think about the prompt. What valuable lesson did you learn from a mistake this week? It highlights that. It's not about dwelling on the negative. It's about extracting the wisdom from those experiences.
Okay, so it's almost like those challenges are like personalized lessons, just waiting to be unpacked.
Exactly.
It makes me think about that presentation I bombed a while back. Oh, I was mortified.
Oh, I've been there.
Right. But it forced me to completely revamp my approach. And now I'm a much better presenter because of it.
See, that's a perfect example. We often learn more from our setbacks than our successes.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So these prompts, they guide us to unearth those lessons, apply them moving forward, and you build resilience along the way.
Okay, on to theme 3, practicing gratitude. It seems like gratitude is everywhere these days.
Yeah.
But I'm genuinely curious, does science actually back up all the hype?
Oh, it absolutely does. There are tons of studies out there that show that consistent gratitude practice, it can have really tangible benefits.
Really? Like what?
Well, for example, it reduces stress, it can improve your sleep, even strengthen your immune system.
Wow.
It's like a mental reset button.
Okay.
It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have.
I love that analogy. It's like a mental detox. I'm seeing these prompts in a whole new light now.
Good.
But there are so many ways to practice gratitude, right? What are some, like, unique prompts that this article offers?
Yeah, so there's one that really stands out. It asks, what mundane, everyday experience brought you unexpected joy this week? Because, it's so easy to overlook that small stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, those little joys, those are often what make life rich and meaningful.
It's like finding those hidden gems in our daily routine.
Yes.
I recently rediscovered my love for baking bread, and honestly, the smell alone just fills me with, like, this unexpected joy.
I love that.
It's, like, so simple.
And it's so true. It's like those small little things. So this prompt pushes us to be present, to appreciate those small details that often go unnoticed.
Yeah.
And it's a practice in mindfulness that can actually enhance our overall happiness.
I'm all about that. Okay, moving on to theme 4, evaluating growth and learning. And this theme seems to be all about self-assessment, personal evolution.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we go beyond just listing our strengths and weaknesses,
Well, there's a prompt that addresses that specifically. It asks, what limiting belief showed up for you this week and how did you challenge it? Because we all have those inner voices
yeah.
that hold us back, right?
Yeah.
So this prompt encourages us to confront those limiting beliefs head on.
Ooh, that's a tough one, but so important. I catch myself thinking, I'm not creative enough all the time whenever I want to try something new.
Yep.
This prompt is a good reminder to, like, question that belief,
Yep.
to look for evidence that contradicts it.
Absolutely. Because by challenging those beliefs, we create space for new possibilities.
Mhm.
It's about recognizing that our thoughts are not always facts, and we have the power to choose more empowering narratives.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, moving on to our final theme, theme 5, looking forward.
The future.
I am a big believer in planning,
Me too.
but I'm curious to see how these prompts go beyond just, like, setting goals and making to-do lists.
Yeah. Well, there's one prompt that really stood out to me in this section. It asks, what is one thing you want to experience next week that will bring you joy? How will you make it happen?
Oh, I like that. So it's about consciously choosing joy
Yes.
and designing our week around it.
Then making it happen, being proactive.
So it's not just about productivity, it's about making space for those experiences that actually nourish our soul.
Exactly. Nourishing your soul. That's beautiful.
Right.
I love that. And there's another one that asks, what's one thing you're letting go of before the week begins?
Oh.
So it encourages us to, like, shed any baggage we might be carrying, whether it's like, a negative thought pattern or a commitment that no longer serves us, or even just that pile of clothes we've been meaning to donate.
It's like a mental and emotional decluttering.
Exactly.
You know what? I'm holding on to a grudge right now that is definitely not serving me.
Yeah, those are the worst.
Maybe it's time to just let that go.
Let it go, you
Yeah.
know? Because this prompt, it's about creating space for those new possibilities,
Mhm.
entering the week with a sense of lightness and freedom.
I like that, yeah. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We explored the 5 themes of these journaling prompts.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm seeing them in a whole new light.
Yeah.
They're not just about writing, they're about self-discovery and intentional living.
What's fascinating is how they really blend psychology, personal development, and even a bit of mindfulness. It's a really holistic approach that encourages us to, like, really engage with our week on a deeper level.
I'm feeling inspired. I'm going to grab my journal.
Yeah.
We've got more to uncover in this deep dive, though, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
All right, so as we were talking about, intentionality, there was this one prompt from the looking forward theme that really resonated with me. It asks, what is one small action you can take each day to align your actions with your values? Like a mini challenge to actually walk the talk,
I like that because, yeah, it's easy to talk about our values, but actually living them consistently, that's where the real growth happens. And this prompt encourages us to take those big, abstract values and break them down into actionable steps.
So instead of just saying, I value health, I might commit to taking a 20-minute walk each day.
Exactly. Or if you value connection, you make a point of having a meaningful conversation with a loved one every day. It's about those small, consistent actions, embodying our values.
I love that. It's a great reminder that Living our values isn't about these grand gestures. It's about those small, daily choices that add up over time. Speaking of small choices, there's another prompt that caught my eye. It's from the Celebrating Wins in Progress theme. And it asks, what is one thing you did this week that moved you closer to a long-term goal?
Oh, yeah. The importance of recognizing those incremental steps, right?
Yeah.
Because we get so focused on the destination, we forget to appreciate the journey.
Hmm.
So this prompt encourages us to zoom in on those seemingly small actions that are actually moving us in the right direction.
It's like acknowledging those building blocks that eventually form the foundation of our success. What kind of actions might fall into this category?
It could be anything that aligns with your long-term vision. So maybe you spent like an hour researching a new business idea, or you finally booked that flight for the trip you've been dreaming of, or hey, maybe you just resisted that tempting donut,
Oh, yeah.
and stayed committed to your health goals.
I finally started writing that book proposal I've been putting off for ages.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thanks. It was only 30 minutes. But using this prompt, I realized that 30 minutes is still a win.
It is.
It's overcoming procrastination, and taking action.
Exactly. It's about shifting our focus from what we haven't done yet to what we have accomplished, no matter how small.
Okay, on to a topic that I think we can all relate to. Stress management.
Oh, yeah.
There's a prompt in the Overcoming Challenges theme that asks, what did you do this week to manage stress and take care of your well-being?
Ooh, good one.
Because I think we could all use a little more of that in our lives.
Absolutely. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle and forget to take care of ourselves. So this prompt, it's like a gentle reminder to prioritize self-care and to really acknowledge those efforts we make, however small.
What are some unconventional ways that people might be taking care of themselves that this prompt could help highlight?
That's a great question. I think it could be anything that helps someone feel grounded and recharged. Maybe they finally started taking those dance classes they've been wanting to try, or spend an afternoon gardening. Or hey, even just simply turning off their phone for a few hours, disconnecting from the digital world. It's about tuning in to our individual needs and honoring those needs.
You know what? I've recently started leaving my phone in another room when I have dinner with my family.
Oh, that's great.
It's been amazing to be fully present in those moments.
Yeah.
Without distractions.
Yeah.
It's such a small shift, but it's had a big impact on my stress levels and my relationships.
It's amazing how those small intentional choices can have those ripple effects. Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Shifting gears to a theme that's particularly close to my heart, gratitude.
Yes.
There's this prompt in the Practicing Gratitude theme that asks, what is one thing you learned this week that you are grateful for? I think we often associate gratitude with people or possessions.
Right.
But this prompt, I love how it expands that focus to include knowledge and growth.
It's true. Learning is a gift, right?
Yeah.
And this prompt encourages us to appreciate those moments of intellectual expansion. So it could be a new skill we acquired, or, a fascinating fact we stumbled upon, or even just a new perspective that kind of shifted our understanding of the world.
This reminds me of this documentary I watched this week about the power of music therapy.
Oh, wow.
It was so inspiring to learn about how music can heal and transform lives.
That's beautiful. That's a perfect example. This prompt encourages us to be open to learning, to embrace new knowledge, and to cultivate a sense of appreciation for, the constant evolution of our understanding.
It's like acknowledging those aha moments that expand our minds.
Yes.
Okay, let's explore a prompt from the Evaluating Growth and Learning theme. It asks, what is one area where you resisted the urge to be perfect this week? What did you learn from that experience? I think this is especially relevant in today's fast-paced world.
Oh, yeah. The importance of embracing imperfection, right? Because perfectionism can be a real creativity killer. It's a major source of stress for a lot of people.
For sure.
So this prompt encourages us to step outside of that all-or-nothing mentality and recognize the value of progress over perfection.
It's like giving ourselves permission to, experiment, make mistakes, learn from those experiences.
Exactly.
Without judgment. What are some specific examples that come to mind?
Well, maybe someone tried a new recipe without worrying about it looking exactly like the picture, or they gave a presentation at work and they weren't striving for flawless delivery.
Yeah.
Or they simply allowed themselves to have a messy first draft of a creative project instead of getting, stuck in the editing phase.
I've been trying to be more mindful about this in my own life. I tend to overthink and overanalyze everything, which can stifle my creativity.
Oh, yeah. I feel that.
So this week, I challenged myself to just start writing, to get the ideas down no matter what. And you know what? I actually ended up with my best work yet.
That's awesome. It shows you how releasing that need for perfection can actually unlock our creativity, allow us to tap into a more authentic flow.
It's like giving ourselves the freedom to explore and experiment, discover new possibilities without the pressure of having to get it right.
Exactly. It's about embracing the journey, the messy middle, recognizing that imperfection is often where the magic happens.
I love that. Okay, shifting gears. A theme that's all about looking ahead, looking forward. There's a prompt that asks, what is one thing you can do next week to simplify your life? I think we all crave a little more simplicity, especially in this increasingly complex world.
Oh, absolutely. We're constantly bombarded with information and commitments and distractions. So this prompt encourages us to take a step back, assess our lives, and identify those areas where we can just create more space, ease and flow.
This is like a decluttering exercise.
Exactly, for our lives. So maybe it's time to unsubscribe from those email newsletters that you never read.
Oh yeah, so many.
Right, or to declutter your physical space, or to streamline your morning routine. It could even be about setting boundaries, around your time and energy, saying no to commitments that drain you, or delegating tasks that can be handled by others.
I've been feeling super overwhelmed by just the sheer volume of stuff in my closet.
Oh, yeah. The dreaded closet.
Maybe it's time to tackle that and donate those clothes I haven't worn in years.
There you go. It's about identifying those areas where we can create more space, both physically and mentally. Simplify our lives in a way that feels good, liberating, empowering.
It's like we're creating more breathing room
Exactly.
for the things that truly matter.
Yes.
Okay, there's one more prompt from a looking forward theme I want to touch on. It asks, what is one thing you're looking forward to experiencing next week? And how will you savor that experience, especially as we're approaching a new week?
Oh, I love this one. The power of anticipation, right? Because having things to look forward to, it can really boost our mood, increases our motivation, enhances our overall well-being. This prompt encourages us to cultivate those feelings of excitement and actually plan those experiences that bring us joy.
So it's about being intentional,
Yeah.
creating those pockets of happiness in our week. What are some examples that come to mind?
It could be anything that sparks a sense of anticipation. So maybe it's a long-awaited vacation or a date night with your loved one or, a concert you've been looking forward to or even just a quiet evening at home with a good book.
I'm really looking forward to spending an afternoon at the Botanical Gardens this weekend.
Oh, no.
I've been meaning to go for ages, and I can't wait to wander through those beautiful gardens and just soak up the tranquility.
Oh, that sounds lovely. It's those simple pleasures, right, that can be so enriching and fulfilling.
It's about being present in those moments, engaging our senses, and allowing ourselves to fully experience, the joy and beauty that life has to offer.
Precisely. It's about cultivating a sense of appreciation for the simple things, creating a life that feels rich and meaningful.
I think we've officially explored all the major themes and uncovered some pretty incredible insights.
We have.
What are your final thoughts?
I'm amazed by the depth and breadth of these prompts, honestly. They cover such a wide range of topics, and they offer such a valuable framework for self-reflection, growth, intentional living. I'm excited for part 3.
Me too. Stay tuned for more insightful discoveries. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're in the final stretch of our exploration of these insightful journaling prompts. I'm so curious to see what other nuggets of wisdom we can uncover.
It really is amazing how these seemingly simple prompts can spark such profound reflection and self-discovery. Let's jump back into the overcoming challenges theme for a minute.
Okay.
There's one prompt in there that asks, what is one fear you faced this week? And what did you learn from that experience?
I think facing our fears head on can be so daunting. But there's a lot of truth to the saying, everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Oh, absolutely.
This prompt encourages us to not only acknowledge those fears, but examine the lessons they hold.
Exactly. Because often our fears are rooted in those, limiting beliefs or past experiences that we've had. So by facing them, we challenge those beliefs and we create those opportunities for growth. It reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite the fear.
I've always been terrified of public speaking. This week, I had to give a presentation at work. Oh, I was so nervous. But I pushed through, and afterwards, I felt such a sense of accomplishment. I realized that the fear wasn't as insurmountable as I had imagined.
That's a perfect example, because it highlights how facing our fears can lead to a sense of empowerment, self-confidence. And even if the outcome isn't perfect, the act of facing the fear itself, that's a victory.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit to a theme that's all about connection and relationships. There's a prompt in the practicing gratitude theme. It asks, what is one thing someone did for you this week that you are grateful for? How did it make you feel? And I love how this one encourages us to focus on the kindness and generosity of others.
It's true. It's so easy to get caught up in our own lives, and we forget to acknowledge those acts of kindness, those small things that just make our days brighter. So this prompt, it really invites us to savor those moments, express our gratitude, and cultivate that sense of appreciation for the people who enrich our lives.
Yeah. It's about recognizing those often unseen acts of love and support that we receive from others. What are some examples that come to mind?
Well, it could be anything, like a friend offering a listening ear when you're feeling down, or a colleague helping you out with a project, or a family member cooking you a delicious meal, or even a stranger, just holding the door open for you.
I was feeling really stressed out this week,
Hmm.
and a friend surprised me with a care package. It was filled with my favorite treats
Hmm.
and a handwritten note. It was such a small gesture, but it made me feel so loved and supported.
Ah, that's a beautiful example. It just shows how those small acts of kindness can have such a big impact on us, make us feel connected and cared for.
It's like those small acts of love. They create a ripple effect of positivity that spreads outwards.
Exactly. This prompt encourages us to not only acknowledge those acts, but to reflect on how they made us feel. It's about cultivating that sense of appreciation and gratitude for those people who enrich our lives.
Okay, let's delve into a prompt from the Evaluating Growth and Learning theme. It asks, what is one habit you're working on changing, and what progress did you make this week? I don't think we all have those habits that we'd like to shift, improve, but it can be challenging to break those ingrained patterns.
Absolutely. Changing habits requires a lot of self-awareness, commitment, and a willingness to experiment with different strategies
Mm-hmm.
until we find what works, right? This prompt encourages us to not only acknowledge those habits that we want to change, but also to celebrate the progress that we're making, no matter how small.
It's about recognizing those small victories along the way. Those moments when we resisted the urge to fall back into old patterns and we chose a different path. What are some examples of habit changes people might be working on?
It could be anything, really, from reducing screen time to getting more sleep, eating healthier, exercising regularly, practicing mindfulness, or even just, being more present in conversations.
I've been trying to break my habit of checking my phone first thing in the morning because I realized I was starting my day, in this reactive mode, responding to emails and messages before I even had a chance to connect with myself.
Yeah.
So this week, I've committed to leaving my phone in another room until after I've had my coffee and done the short meditation.
That's a wonderful example of a habit change that can have a significant impact on your well-being, your mindset.
Right.
Because by starting your day with that intention and presence, you're really setting a positive tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's like I'm reclaiming my mornings and creating a more mindful and intentional start to my day.
Exactly. This prompt encourages us to not only acknowledge those habit changes, but to reflect on the progress that we're making, no matter how small. Celebrate those small victories along the way and recognize that, lasting change takes time and effort.
Okay. I think this is a good prompt to wrap on. It's from the Looking Forward theme. And it asks, what is one thing you can do next week to create more joy and fulfillment in your life? I think we all crave those feelings of happiness and purpose, but it's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget to prioritize those things, the things that truly nourish our souls.
It's true. This prompt invites us to step back and reflect on what brings us joy, and then make a conscious effort to incorporate those activities into our lives. It's about recognizing that joy is not a luxury. It's an essential ingredient for a fulfilling life.
It's like giving ourselves permission to prioritize happiness.
Yeah.
And design a life that feels more aligned, more aligned with our authentic selves. What are some specific examples of things people could do to create more joy?
It could be anything, really, that sparks a sense of delight, passion, purpose. Maybe it's spending more time in nature, connecting with loved ones, pursuing a creative hobby, volunteering in your community, traveling to new places, or even just taking a few minutes each day to do something that you truly enjoy.
You know what? I've been meaning to get back into painting, but I've always felt like I didn't have the time. Maybe I can commit to carving out an hour next week. just to play with colors, see what emerges.
That's a wonderful idea. It shows you how even small pockets of time dedicated to those activities, the things that bring us joy, can have such a significant impact on our overall well-being.
It's like making space for those things that light us up, make us feel truly alive.
Exactly. And this prompt encourages us to be intentional about creating those experiences and then savoring those moments of joy.
Well, I think we've officially explored all 5 themes and uncovered some incredible insights from these journaling prompts. What are your final thoughts as we wrap up this deep dive?
I'm so impressed by the power of these prompts. They're deceptively simple, yet they offer such a profound framework, for self-reflection, growth, and intentional living. I'm inspired to incorporate these prompts into my own life and encourage others to do the same.
Me too. I think this deep dive has been a good reminder that personal growth isn't about grand gestures or overnight transformations. It's about those small, consistent efforts, those moments of reflection and self-discovery that add up over time, that lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
Beautifully said. It's about embracing the journey, honoring our own unique path, and recognizing that even the smallest steps can lead to those extraordinary transformations.
And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder as you embark on your own journey of self-discovery. What is one small step you can take today to create a life that feels more aligned with your authentic self, your values, your aspirations? Remember, even the smallest actions can create a ripple effect of positive change in your life and in the world around you.
What a powerful question. It's a reminder that we all have the power to create a life that we love, one small step at a time.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the transformative power of journaling prompts. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep diving deep.